Welcome to Bold Moves, the show spotlighting fearless trailblazers, entrepreneurs, and visionaries forging new paths across Arizona and beyond. Each episode, we dive deep into uplifting stories, game-changing strategies, and the unstoppable spirit powering real transformation. Whether you're launching a business, chasing a dream, or reshaping your community, get ready to unleash your boldness. Join your host, Mat Torres, as he sparks your imagination, amplify action, and help you thrive. So buckle up and let's ignite your boldest moves yet.
All righty. Well, welcome back. This is the Bold Moves podcast. So I'm very excited. I've got like a really good friend and special guest, Miss Becky Jo Harris. Becky, would you like to say hello?
Hi.
Awesome.
See you, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna fill like the audience, in on how we met. So we went to acting class. So I'm talking like to a lot of actors. This is like really fun. But we were in the late Bill Howie's class. Bill Howie was an amazing guy, and for those that don't know, he did pass away. But Carla is there, and she's doing a phenomenal job. Carla is Bill's wife. And but that's where we met. And I still remember the day when we had our first class, and I remember I had to like get in front of your face, and we had to do like this. No, you didn't. You did not. Did not. We had to go back and forth. Remember? Do you remember that?
Wait, what was it? I didn't. You did. I
You-
didn't. You did. And then it
I-
got heated.
oh, yeah.
on it.
I remember. I had to like release like the kraken, the anger, and
Yeah.
I still remember like the look on your face, and you were kind of like, whoa, like who's this?
I don't even remember. I must have blocked it out.
Too much trauma. Awesome. Well, do you want to take a second just to kind of like, introduce yourself and, kind of just give a little background?
Okay, yeah. I'm Becky Jo Harris. I am an actress, comedian, I'd say. I make my own content. Social media is a big deal to me. I kind of post on there. I do voiceover. I do sketch comedy. I don't know. I try to put all my eggs into like all the baskets. So
Yeah. I would say like an understatement on like the comedy and everything, because I think you've always had this knack for just making a scenario very like comedic and making it look natural. Um
oh, that's so sweet. Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm just it was so funny because even when we were in class, I was like, you know what? This chick's gonna be like on SNL or something, or she's gonna be doing like I can already see you like doing impressions. In fact, I've seen a few of your like videos and stuff where from because you went to California and you did some comedy stuff
Yeah,
too.
I kind of find myself kind of going back and forth, but I take classes at the Groundlings, and that's a sketch comedy place. Melissa McCarthy, let's see, Will Ferrell, all of the greats kind of like come out of Groundlings.
Yeah.
So I kind of bit the bullet and just went for it. Especially during the pandemic, they had online classes, so I did that. But yeah, it's really helped me, I guess, well, like the podcast, be bolder in my choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely saw you eventually, like, playing with the big kids, you know what I mean? Like, because that's where
Yeah.
our, like, the big players go, and
It's
it
it's crazy.
yeah, I
Yeah, it's wild.
well, when you're saying you're an actress, and I wanna not underplay that because you are, like, an actress, you know what I mean? Because, like,
I
you're doing like, I think I saw a clip of a podcast with you with Matt from, what was it? What he has an acting studio up in North Phoenix. Um,
oh my
I
god.
forgot his name. Oh,
Deering.
dang it.
Matt
What's that?
Deering. Matt Deering.
Deering
Yeah,
Studio, yes,
yeah.
which phenomenal guy, phenomenal studio.
Oh,
But I remember seeing a clip, and he was like, you're Arizona famous." You know what I mean? Like, because I think everybody like
that was wild to hear. Cause
yeah,
I don't know, I think you get into your own little bubble, and then you have to take those moments where people kinda reflect that back on you like, "Oh, no, you're doing great." I kinda forget that sometimes. I have to start
yeah,
writing it down.
Well, like I think the big thing that a lot of people remember is like your OfferPad commercials. Like I remember the first time I saw that and I was like, I know her. I was telling my wife, like, I went to class with her. I know her.
Well,
So
it's
funny.
wild because that was kinda like a local thing, but I got recognized at least 2 or 3 times just in public
Yeah.
for
Oh,
that. And then even just this last Halloween, I was dressed up as Liza Minnelli, and a girl walked up to me and was like, "Are you in those OfferPad commercials?" And I have her, like, bold lipstick on and everything. She's like, "Oh, well, yes, darling, I was. Would you like a picture?" Yeah.
oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. So anyway, I want like anyone listening to know, like, okay, legit, like you're doing stuff and keep an eye out because I definitely see you like on a big screen somewhere. So I just wanted to say that.
I
Um,
think my goal is, yeah, like a series regular on a show. If I got that, I would be content.
yeah, I
I'll
can definitely see that.
Yeah.
But so that brings me into like my first question. So like in one sentence, what does boldness mean to you?
Boldness. It's taken me a second to figure it out for myself. I've been doing acting for like 7 God, yeah, since we started, which was like 8 years ago,
Mhm.
right? So,
Yeah, wow.
uh, was it? It was like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 8 years. Whoa.
I have to count on my fingers.
What the heck? Um,
Mm.
Boldness to me is being yourself. It's just plain and simple. Just, not being afraid to just be yourself and knowing who you are and just going full out. I think as soon as I started being myself, like, I got the bangs, I'd always wanted to go back to bangs. Um I do more physical comedy and my face, moves and once I started putting that into my auditions, um all of a sudden I'm being flown out to places to shoot commercials and then work with like award-winning directors and there's slow times where I kind of question being myself. Like I think the last couple months I'm in that weird area of like um like you want to be real and you want to like fit into whatever role they want you to be in. But then I also have to find out how do I put myself into that. So there's a lot of growing room, but I think first and foremost being yourself.
That's interesting you say that because a lot of the times we're too afraid to be ourselves, and it's like I never really thought about it, but being bold is yeah, like being yourself.
It's
Um,
clear. Yeah.
that's
Starting from the very innermost self. It really is starting from the inner work, and not thinking you need to do exactly what you think they want. They're waiting to see what you can do. And so, again, I'm still working on that. I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years, but I think I finally figured that out. And so I'm working towards being like 100% myself, 100% of the time.
I think people can see it too. You know what I mean? Like when you're trying to like be something else or be someone else, people can like sense that. And
Yeah.
um especially like people that know you, like if they sense okay, mm, something's a little off, spidey sense kind of kicks off, you know?
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's like I think I struggled with that for a while cuz like like I've got like ADHD and I've got,
See, I was just
that,
diagnosed with that.
hey,
Yeah.
really? When was
Yeah.
that?
Well, about like a year ago, my
Okay.
sister first kind of figured that out. She was like, "Oh, yep, I'm going, to try to work on this." And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna see if I have it, and then I did. And I've actually been trying out some medication,
Yeah.
and I'm a big advocate for mental health
Yeah.
because I actually have a, bachelor's degree in psychology, so I thought that's
Oh,
what
wow.
I could do. Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
yeah, I have 2 bachelors,
2.
but yeah, I'm kind of smart.
Well,
I learn. I had like a 4-year scholarship to like ASU, and I finished my bachelor's of science in psychology in 2 years. And then I was like, "Ah, I have a 4-year scholarship. What else should I do?" And then I decided, you know what? I'm not fun. I'm gonna do art studies. So I started doing like painting and drawing and that kind of stuff. And then I took an acting class, and then that's
It all went.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But when it comes back to the psychology of stuff, it really is like you have to advocate for yourself and figure out what's going on in here, and that goes back to being yourself. So it takes a lot of work.
It does.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because like my whole life I've always like, what is wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah, you feel different.
yeah, you went
Yeah.
through. Like
I
I always. Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I always felt like I had to struggle so hard and work so hard, but yet like when I would do that, it would only get me to like level with everyone else. I would never be able to like level up, you know? And
Yeah.
it was because my son, he has ADHD and we through this process, we're figuring out like
Yeah.
I'm looking at similarities here. I'm like, that's ADHD. Like, and then I started looking at it more and I'm like, okay, a lot of this stuff, like that's me. I got this, I thought this was
I know,
normal.
and that's been happening a lot. People are seeing stuff in their kids, and then therefore now they're able to, you know, diagnose themselves after years of just not knowing what's going on.
Yeah. I was telling my wife this story when I was at my last job. It was the end of the day, we left the building and I was like, there's like probably 100 yards from the building to the parking garage. And I was side by side with one guy from work and I wasn't really like a social person and talkative person. And I'm like walking and having this inner dialogue with myself. Okay, you guys are walking side by side, so somebody should probably say something. Said, "Oh, but I don't really like this guy. I don't really want to say anything." Yeah, but it's gonna look weird if you don't say something, so you gotta say something. I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you say?" "I don't know." "Well, you know what? This is just me. This is who I am, so I'm not gonna say anything, and this is gonna be weird." "Yeah, okay, we'll just do it. We'll just like, that's who we are." He already knows you're a weirdo, and like, "Okay, that's fine." And then we're going up the stairs, and then like we split, and he goes, "Have a good night. Have a good night." That's all I say, and we're like, "Okay, see, we spoke something." And then it was just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you're in your car and you're like, "Oh, no, he hates me now. I don't even know
yeah.
if I can ever even talk to this guy again because he probably thinks I'm so weird." And like, oh
But
my god.
when I tell that story, people are like, I ask, You don't have like this dialogue?" And they're like, "No, like we just talk." And I'm like, "Huh."
Walk and talk organically. Once I started taking that medication, it's like a small dose. I can't even remember what it is, but um, I noticed I'm able to sit, and then I'm sitting with people, and I was so cognizant in one moment that I wasn't worrying about creating a conversation. Like, what's the
Mhm.
next step? What's the next step of socialization? Okay, ask them how they're doing. Oh, they got a new job? Maybe ask them about that. No, no, no. I was just like sitting there, and I was enjoying my tea, and then they started talking, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then oh my god, I was like, this is what it's like.
Right? Isn't that weird? Like, it was the weirdest thing when all of a sudden, because the medicine I'm on now, I'm on Adderall, like, and
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and people think like, "Oh, you want Adderall to get all like crazy and everything," and I'm like, "It calms me."
No,
Like,
I yeah,
it,
I think I'm on, something like a step before that, but I've even noticed when I drink coffee, I get tired.
yeah,
Like, like, gets me going, but, like, my eyes get kinda heavy, and then, like, everything for people with ADHD or ADD, it does the opposite.
yeah.
So when you're on Adderall or you're on this medication, it just quiets. Oh,
It's such a different experience. Like I had this networking thing that I had to go to, and normally I would not. I'd be terrified of like networking events and we had to talk to people. But I was doing this thing and I was like just going and introducing myself to people. I made it a thing like, okay, I'm gonna like talk to like 5 people over here. And like I would just go around and start talking. And I wasn't like having this struggle, like, okay, what do I say? Well, I should say, it was just natural. It's so weird.
yeah.
Like it's the weirdest thing. So that's
Well,
crazy.
yeah.
Has it helped your acting?
Um, I believe it has. I was really worried that it was going to be a detriment because I was booking stuff. I felt like because I had that anxiety and like that ADHD, like my brain's just going everywhere. But what it has done is help me hone in on, like, if I'm in a dialogue scene, like I can really like just I'm just listening to the person and then I'm responding. Like it's really helped enhance my acting. And then I'm going to take a class at the Groundlings, so I'm interested to see if it helps my like improv.
Mhm.
Cause like one teacher, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna pass you," but he's like, "It's just the weirdest thing. Like one scene, you're gonna be on fire. You're on fire. You're listening. You're making jokes. You're adding, and then the next scene, you like don't listen to anything." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." So I'm interested to see if that changes. If I'm able to be on fire the whole time. Yeah.
When that was happening, were you, like, on a medication or were you
No,
yeah.
I didn't really like, I didn't think I really had, like, ADD or ADHD. It didn't make sense to me because I got straight A's in
Mhm.
school, and that's why my parents were always like, "Oh, no, like, she's super smart, getting 4.0s, and I'm concentrating in class," and I realized, "Oh, that's what I hyper focused on was
Yeah.
studying, and, like, socializing. I had no clue how to do that because I wasn't hyper focusing on that. I was hyper focusing on something I could control.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah, I
that
forgot what your
scene,
question, but
it was probably that was probably a scene that you really liked and you were hyper focused on it, which is why you were, like, on fire.
yes, like, it was a character that I went into that I was like, "Oh, I love this character, and this character can focus," and then it felt like magic. And then I guess, yeah, when I'm not interested in the scene from the start, my brain just starts going other places automatically, even though I'm trying to get it to I don't want that to happen. I'm really trying, you know?
Yeah.
And it's to the point where you're trying so hard that to focus that now you're not focused at all because you're trying hard to focus.
Mhm. Mm. That's
Crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what's like a significant bold move in your life or like in your career or like anything that you recently made where, you thought, okay, this was completely necessary. This is like I needed to make this and like why did you do that?
See, this is a hard one for me because I felt like I've been making like small bold moves,
Mhm.
but I guess maybe to someone else that's a big bold move. I don't know, like moving to LA. Like that was a big bold move. Um, gaining the moxie to ask for a referral for a manager and then being said yes to. Like, yes, here's a great manager. And it's like those small bold moves that have led to like, I'm trying to think of a big, big, bold move, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
So here's what I used to do because I used to do growth coaching for real estate agents. And we used to talk about like moves or like things in their business that they needed to focus on.
Mm,
And we called them, like, little rocks and then like big boulders. And like the little rocks, they're like, okay, these are the things that need to get done in our business. Like they need to like, happen or else, the business doesn't really function. Like any one of those things would like not make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things if, for the business. But these big boulders, these are the things that are gonna, like, move the needle and, like, this is definitely gonna make me more money, and it's gonna move the business forward, and so that's how I kind of,
yeah.
like, look at what you're talking about, like, there's these small little risks and small little things, but then there's, like, this big risk, like, that changes the
I
direction of
got
things.
it. I think I've done 2 bold moves, and it is a business strategy because I do think kinda more business-minded and
Mhm,
also creatively, but, um, so I booked a commercial, like a bigger commercial, like, for Hulu, and I realized, "Okay." I went with my gut. I'm like, "I'm gonna focus on this. I love doing these commercials. I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna put my energy into that." And I'm not going to do as many short indie films that drain my energy. I want to put my energy into this stuff because it just felt right.
Hmm.
Um, so then, like after a year or two, people are like, "So you're a commercial actor?" I'm like, "Uh-oh, okay." Now people are saying that, but it really was just like the natural thing I wanted to do at the time. But so now so from that bold move to being a commercial actor and doing that stuff, I decided, okay, let me do another bold move. And over the last year, I decided, okay, I love commercials. I'm still going to put energy into that, but I'm going to start putting energy into the theatrical, more so like union based, um, yeah, professional projects. So now I feel like I'm in that uh, I don't know, rock and hard place feeling of like you feel like you're not doing one thing and you're not doing the other thing. You're just like growing. I feel like that's a pretty bold move to be okay with being in that uncomfortable spot. So, yeah, twice I've done that with the indie to commercial acting and then commercial acting to professional. It's been those two spots where I felt like, okay, you're being bold. It's going to maybe be a little stagnant, but that's okay. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're just, what the move is right now, and you have to shift that energy. So, yeah, if that makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah. When did you decide to do that?
Um, so that was, I think, last summer. Kind of, yeah, like last summer. I I was like, I miss doing indies. I miss doing like short films. I was doing short films and indie films, but more so for people I already knew,
Hmm.
you know? And I decided, well, and I got this new manager and I was getting like good auditions, right? For like Ryan Murphy and that new show The Pit. I got an audition for one of the main characters for that. And I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to start putting my energy into that." So yeah, I think it was around like May-ish. So I'm still in that wonky zone of just trying to figure it out. And it scares me because I want to be doing all of these things, but I know it's good to kind of like be in that stasis for a moment. Yeah.
Mm. Like, what do you think motivated you or inspired you to really kind of like take that step in that direction? Like, despite like
Hmm.
seeing all these challenges that you knew were going to be there.
Well, I was so comfortable doing like the commercial stuff. Okay. And then to get a little deeper, my mom passed away very suddenly
Oh,
last,
I'm
yeah,
so
well,
sorry.
October 2023. And it was actually very sudden. Yeah. No, it was crazy. And I kept hearing her voice in my head like, you know, "Just be confident. Go for it. Be confident. Believe in yourself. That's the only thing holding you back is you don't believe in yourself. You're amazing." And I think having that and then doing the inner work as well, finding out, okay, I have ADHD. I just been really that's what I've been focusing on is like the inner work. What do I want? Oh, I want to be series regular on like a multicam or a single cam comedy. Okay, then I have to make that bold move of being uncomfortable.
Mm.
So, yeah, there's a lot of different things, so many catalysts that just I don't know, have driven me. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. That's
That's okay. Well,
rough.
God, it's crazy losing. It's like she's the most important person in my life. Like I was living with her half time and it was so jarring. And it did and I was still, I still went and did a print shoot for like NAU like 2 weeks later. And I still like was, doing auditions and booking stuff. But I didn't really feel like I was like being true to myself. And then finally I don't know. So it happened in October 2023. And then around May 2024, I was like, F it. I'm gonna be myself. I'm
Mhm.
still struggling with that, but that was a really bold move for me. Big people pleaser, you know? But yeah, so much inner work, Matt.
Yeah.
So much inner work.
I
Yeah.
know for a lot of people, they probably would have given up at that point, you know?
Yeah. I I learned a lot about myself. I realized, oh wow, I do come from a very strong, like family. Like my mom, she was always so just strong. She just kept going. And then my dad, he passed away 2019, and
Mm.
he was like a businessman. Like he owned a dealership, and like as something about those personalities, I think I have it in myself. I was really so proud of myself. I'm like, wow, I gave myself the space to grieve. I'm a very emotional person, so I I was able to do that, but then also it's just like taking one foot and step in front of the other, and just making little moves, little bold moves every couple of weeks, and then finding the strength to keep going, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Are you still, because last night I checked, you were doing esthetician work. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I do that. I have like a handful of clients that I still, have that I love, and they just I don't know. They're like good friends of mine now. But I think that's another bold move I'm gonna have to take, is going, "Hey, I'm gonna have to set that aside and, like, fully go acting." Even my tax lady is like, "Yeah, you kinda broke even. And then your acting stuff, though, that was really good." Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, interesting." So that's gonna
Mhm.
be another bold move.
That's a good position to be in, right?
I know.
The acting work outpaces the survival,
Can't
job.
believe it.
That's
So excited.
that's awesome. Yeah, so you ever watch those videos where, and it gets kind of gross, but when they take your nose and like scrape it to get like, because that's, ADHD thing. Like I'm like,
Yeah, you hyper focus on, like,
yeah. So so you may have noticed I got a little splotchy on my nose.
"Oh, no." I did notice, but I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, I got so I got one of those little suction things, you see where suck on it, on your
Oh my
nose.
gosh, I got one of those too. I was like, "I just need this."
Yeah, it also comes with, the little tools, you know what I mean? Where, like,
Yeah.
the little and so sometimes I'll, like, scrape it and my mind will go off like, "Oh, that's, like, relaxing," seeing all the little oils come out,
I
and
don't know
then
what that is, like, why it's so calming. I think it's because it's something we can control. When we feel we can control something, our mind's quiet. It's like, "Oh, okay."
yeah, yeah,
I
and
don't know.
and then you get the little, like, blisters and stuff.
Yeah, I kinda, like, went too much here one day, and I was like, "Oh, oh, no.
Yeah.
No, what am I?"
The sad thing is this isn't the first time, like, it was a while, like, it was, like, on this side of me.
It's like, I don't know what, like, I do the same thing, like, I know the outcome, I just keep doing it. Like, my boyfriend is always like, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, "I just thought
Oh my
this
gosh.
time would be different." He's like, "Yeah, but the last 3 times it hasn't been different." So,
Yeah, I know. My wife will do the same thing. She looks at me like, "Didn't you just, like, do that the other day?" And I'm like, "Mm, yeah."
yeah, but I feel like if I do it again, maybe my skin is more resilient now. Like, it's like I'm testing things out. It's like I'm a scientist. I need to test it out. I need to see. We don't really quite know, but we do.
I'm curious, like, looking back, like, what's the most valuable lesson you think you learned from taking your bold moves?
Um, that there's always a growth period, like a just an awkward phase, you know? growing pains, and then just having to remember there's something on the other side of that. So every time I've gone through growing pains and pushed myself outside of my comfort zone, at first, yeah, it was like a little rocky. And all of a sudden, something clicks, and then you're off to the races. And then, like 2 more years down the road, I'm gonna have to reframe and do that all over again. But yeah, that's what I've learned.
Hmm. Is there like any, from your experience, like any practical advice you would give somebody who's maybe like a little hesitant on like making their own bold moves?
Oh, that's a really tough one because I have to think about what. Oh, no, no. What did I do? Here, say that again. Let me think about that.
Yeah. So, like, is there, if you were talking to somebody and you were like looking to give them advice, because maybe they're hesitant about like taking their own bold moves in life, is there anything you would say that has helped you to help them?
Mm, okay. There's no wrong choice. Everything's meant to happen how it's supposed to happen. Like, let's say you turn in an audition and you realize an hour later, oh, that's what I should have done instead. And well, great. That audition was supposed to happen so that you could have that revelation an hour later so that next audition could be even better. Everything is supposed to happen for a reason. There is no wrong way to do it. The only wrong way to do it is to not do it at all.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think I don't think things happen for like coincidences, you know what I mean? I think
Right.
they're all designed and choreographed, and I think everything does like play the way it's supposed to play for good or bad, you know? Like,
Yeah. You just never know what's going to lead to what. So I might as well have fun with it. I think
yeah.
just have fun with life. I mean, I think people are so worried about what other people think of themselves. They're worried about fitting in with like the culture, oh no, with the side parts aren't in anymore. We got to do the middle part. Okay, flare jeans, that's what you have. No, I decided what am I doing?
Mm.
I'm going to have fun with my life. I'm gonna have fun with this audition and I'm gonna do the classes that I want to do, even though my friends are like, oh, don't do that class, do this class. No, go with what you feel in your
Yeah.
gut. Again, that comes back to the inner work. Be so comfortable with yourself that when you get those intuitions, that you know they're right.
Hmm. Yeah. That's one thing I had a hard time learning was like usually that gut feeling, that gut intuition
Yeah.
being is most likely the right one, not the one that I'm trying to like figure out in my head. That's interesting.
It's so true. I try my whole life I try to fight it and then yeah,
It just burns you.
huh?
It just burns you when you try to fight that gut intuition, and all of a sudden you get burned.
I know, and then all of a sudden you're working on something or doing something that you're like, "Why did I agree to this? I knew it was gonna be bad." If I could have just been uncomfortable for 1 second to say no, I would have saved myself months and months of this, like, I don't know, whatever. Ugh.
Yeah. It reminds me when you watch videos of these famous actors who said, "Yeah, I turned down like XYZ role or whatever." And you're like, "What?" But then you watch the movie and you're like, "Yeah, I don't think it would have worked with."
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, I've been better about that's another good bold move that I finally am starting to figure out. Saying no and then being comfortable with that and knowing like I'm always worried I'm going to upset someone, but I'd be more upset if I had to like put myself through that. I'd be upset at myself. I'd rather be happy with myself, and upset at myself for saying yes.
is there a habit or a mindset that you practice that you follow like on a daily that helps you stay, like courageous, proactive, bold?
That's a really good question. I been trying to reframe my mindset of even just saying, like, I like go to your heart and say, "Oh, I love you," to yourself. Wow, I'm so proud of you. And list all the things why you're proud of yourself. And then just practicing that self-love. I try to do that every day. And then, of course, something slips through like, oh, idiot, and then I'm like, oh, no, I'm not an idiot. That's what you just decided to do in the moment. That's okay.
Mm.
That's past. So I think practicing self-love.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Ooh, and then I've been trying to meditate more and like go to the gym more. Yeah. Just the core stuff that builds the building blocks of who I am.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that the the spiritual part is a real, you know, is a real part internally. You know what I mean? You gotta
Yeah.
really hone that. That's cool.
I mean, that's, our bodies are all energy. And if your energy is just like stuck or just, you feel wonky, your external isn't going to look good either.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so here's some quick fire questions. What's your favorite book or resource for bold inspiration?
Oh God. I don't know. This is
It could be like a book, YouTube video, like just any resource that you have.
it's just a hard one for me. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, it's funny. I was reading some stuff on Matthew McConaughey, and I actually like listened to his book Greenlight. That was a fun one. That was good. I love autobiographies, like of just actors. So Bryan Cranston's book, Jenna Fisher, and Matthew McConaughey.
I think I gifted you that Jenna Fisher one, didn't I? It was on Audible.
Oh yes, yes. I listened to that one. I've been doing like the audiobook and that one. Oh, and Molly Shannon. Hers is
Oh.
is just wonderful because she's gone through life struggles and it's just wonderful. Yeah,
Mm. What's
great.
the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Um, be confident in yourself. And that was like my mom said that like a month before she passed away. She's like, I just wish you would see yourself how other people see you. That's what she said.
Hmm,
I wish you would see yourself how I see you. Wish you would see yourself how other people see you.
interesting.
It's like that's the only thing holding you back is you being confident in yourself. I'm like, oh, that's huge. That was, oh, I think
That
about
is
that every day.
that's interesting. So, like, I resonate with that because, like, I do have, like, like, self-image issues, like, body image issues, because growing up as a kid, I was severely overweight, and it was funny because I remember looking back at a picture this was after I had lost some weight, but in the moment, I was thinking, like I was like, "Oh," but I look back at a picture and I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't, like, overweight," and, like, in the moment, though, you're just thinking, "Oh, I'm so horrible," you know?
Same. I look back because I felt like I was on like the chubbier side, kind of growing up. Like you always have those awkward years in like fourth and fifth grade or whatever. And you look back at pictures and you think, well, look at that vibrant kid. It's so sad that she held herself back because she thought, oh, I don't look good in a bikini or I hate my glasses. Really, I look at her, I'm like, oh, you're just so cute.
Yeah, we get in our way
So,
sometimes. Alright.
yeah.
You kinda think about what was going in my mind at that time that prevented me from, like, taking bold moves, Like, that's
Yeah.
interesting. What's one word, or in one word, how would you encourage listeners to be bolder?
Mm. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Enjoy. Enjoy. Like, enjoy yourself. Enjoy what you're doing. I think, and I'm gonna go with that. I guess I don't like that,
That's
but
I know,
I
I
think
get it.
enjoy too.
Yeah.
It really comes from like a positive space.
Yeah.
Being bold comes from a positive space.
100%. Um, cool. Where can our listeners find you? How can they connect with you?
So you can find me on mainly Instagram. That's where I like to post most. At it's Becky Jo Harris, ITSBECKYJOHARRIS, and it's the same for TikTok, I believe. It's Becky Jo Harris. So I've been trying
Awesome.
to post on that more. But
And we're gonna have a special guest page on our website for you. So you'll have like your little bio, your picture. There'll be some like links to all your stuff. So that is the Bold Moves Podcast AZ.com. Well, not the Bold Moves, but Bold Moves Podcast AZ.com. But we'll make sure we'll get your stuff up there and we'll have some links and yeah, they'll be able to connect you. Becky, it's been awesome having you on here and it's been really fun like connecting with you because I know like we haven't like spoken in probably I don't know how many years since we were in class, but
like,
man,
6 years.
yeah,
It's
that's
wild.
crazy. But like I see you all the time, like
I
online.
know. I'm like, no, we've chatted. That's why it's so like, what?
Yeah, that's funny. Very cool. All right. Well, I am going to push the stop button here and we are going to stop recording. And then that is a wrap for this episode of the Bold Moves Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to Bold Moves with Mat Torres, where we celebrate Arizona's fiercest innovators, risk takers, and dreamers. We hope this episode sparked fresh ideas and fueled your courage to take action. Remember, real change begins with that first brave step. Stay connected for behind-the-scenes insights, exclusive episodes, and community updates. Follow us on social media to share your journey. For more inspiration, resources, and connections, visit boldmovespodcastaz.com. Until next time, keep daring, keep dreaming, and keep making bold moves wherever you are.